Hello, I'm Amy Howley, here with a quick briefing on the barriers to acceleration. The question is why, given such a solid research base, the resistance to acceleration should be so strong. True, it may be weakening in the U.S., but why was the resistance so strong in the first place? Let's see. Skipping a grade in the K through 8 sequence was common in the early decades of the 20th century. By mid-century, however, one-room schools were disappearing fast. They'd been replaced by the graded school, one large enough to have separate classrooms and teachers for each grade. Remember, in the one-room schools, all the grades K through 8 were in one classroom. Acceleration was easy, at least for teachers who knew their students well, and knowing them well was easier than in larger schools. There were fewer students to know. This brief background seems pretty simple, but it helps explain the resistance to grade skipping that emerged at mid-century. As compared to the one-room school, grade skipping in the graded school, elementary schools were called grade schools at the time, was much more difficult for 3 reasons. First, grade skipping undermined the system of sorting students by age. Sorting by age was the foundation of graded schools, and it had been a struggle to create these schools. In grade schools, resistance to grade skipping was in fact systemic. Second, being a student of a particular age was understood to entail clear expectations of normal development. This meant, for instance, that third graders should be a certain way and learn certain things. Anything else was not normal. In other words, views of child development were against grade skipping. Third, skipping a grade meant leaving a cohort of fellow students. The grade-skipped student went into a new social system, a higher-level classroom with different students. Educators who worried about grade skipping for the first 2 reasons could easily oppose grade skipping on the basis of predicted social and emotional problems. Most research, of course, has shown this reason to be unwarranted. In any case, that's a lot of reasons to oppose the practice of grade skipping, and the most serious source of opposition in this view is systemic. The way schools are structured and the way normal development is understood continue to make grade skipping difficult and sometimes controversial. To be clear, conventions of school administration, policy, and pedagogy remain somewhat problematic for acceleration. So now we at least have a theory. The theory is that resistance has been so strong because it's part of how the graded school system works. The good news seems to be that educators are broadening the professional view of what's normal. As a result, they are well underway with changes that accommodate the new normal. And the new normal expects, values, and cultivates diversity.